Hey folks, I'm Mike Perez with Mike on Audio, and welcome to another episode of Take 2 for SoundStage Solo. In this video, I will take a pair of cans that a SoundStage reviewer had already reviewed and provide my own opinion on how I felt they performed when I took them for a spin. Kind of like a second opinion, so to speak. Now, if you want to check out the more in-depth written review and measurements by my buddy Brent Butterworth, which he did on the 10th of November 2022 on SoundStageSolo.com, then head down to the description below and the link will be provided for you. Let's go ahead and dig into these Focal Bathys. Do you see that glowing F right there? For many audiophiles and music lovers, that F is synonymous with luxury and quality from the high-end French brand Focal. The question today, though, is whether they could bring the same qualities and characteristics shared amongst their higher-end offerings to a product priced and marketed more towards the noise-canceling headphone mass market at only $7.99. I know, $7.99 sounds outrageous to some of you who love that $2.99 to $3.99 price range that most mass market cans live at. However, Focal is considered a high-end company, so I feel the price is a bit low in comparison to their other offerings. Can it compete with Sony and Bose? Well, aesthetically, I think they exceeded expectations. Let's start with the super soft molded case they come tucked away in. Excellent quality on the case. I like the overall design of the headphones. Outside they have a unique pattern made up of plastic and some metal alloy, I can assume. The coolest part of these headphones, however, is that Focal F that lights up. I am probably one of the most easily amused individuals regarding the small details. I love when companies do things like this. It just screams we care about how things look, and we want them to look good. They have done just that. The top of the headband here is nice and comfy, you know. However, I found the leather ear pads to be a bit small for my gigantic head, and they didn't feel as comfortable as the Mezes I last reviewed. They come with a 3.5mm to 3.5mm analog cable to connect to your phone or source device. It also has a USB-C which charges the headphone's battery and can be used to listen to music using the headphone's onboard DAC. Unfortunately, no 1/4-inch adapter, however. These are not necessarily marketed directly to the headphone amp using crowd, since these are self-powered cans. A great candidate for these headphones would probably be your, average traveler, since they're super flexible and I would consider these to be, small form factor. But how did they sound? When it comes to audio quality and just life in general, you only get one chance to make a great first impression. How did these cans first hit me? Well, where do I begin? Let's start with the good. They have a really nice deep bass, which is appreciated because I love good bass, especially in my headphones. So when I turned them on and figured out the bass was as good as it was, I turned on Beastie Boys' Intergalactic to see what I was working with. They dug deep and provided some, aggressive bass beats. The highs weren't necessarily bright. They were right where they needed to be. Now, what hit me in the face was the mid-range. I think I would call it sharp. It was a little too harsh for my taste. I found myself having to turn the music down at times. After an hour of consistent listening, though, my ears eventually adapted to the aggression of the mid-range, and things started to normalize just a bit. However, that first impression of the sharpness of the mids was a little bit overwhelming. The clarity and dynamics were a bit muddled, just a bit, by the bass, but that was negligible. Now, there is an app you can download that offers a 5-band EQ that will tame things and help adjust the sound quality to your specific listening style. After I applied the EQ through their mobile app, these headphones actually sounded really, really good. Strong bass and a fun sound all around. I believe we should only use EQ to enhance what already sounds good, though. If whatever you're listening to isn't at the very least acceptable to your ears for an extended period of time in a balanced setting, there might be something not right in the signal chain. But as I mentioned, as my ears grew accustomed to the sharpness of the Bathys, things started sounding pretty good. Their noise cancellation feature worked exceptionally well. I'm used to open back headphones when I work at my desk, so having this complete silence in the world around me was absolutely different for me. But it worked really well. These would come in handy, I would say, on an airplane or a busy street. You know, battery life is actually really reasonable at 30 hours in its most energy intensive mode, which is Bluetooth and noise canceling on. One cool feature worth mentioning too is that you could pair up to 8 devices with these headphones and have 2 devices paired simultaneously, obviously only being able to listen to one at a time. So I just thought that was a cool feature. These headphones had their quirks, but demonstrated a pleasant listening experience overall once I got everything dialed in, especially using that app. The aesthetics was the biggest takeaway here. If you want to look good listening to your tunes and flex that Focal F, then these would be perfect for you. Would I pay the freight for these though? The value proposition I think is a bit aggressive. Perhaps between the $400 to $500 range would be more reasonable. However, sometimes there is a price you must pay to play in the realm of high-end audio. It's cool though that brands like Focal, Bowers & Wilkins, and others are interested in these more mass market style products. It gives people that generally might not have leaped to buy a high-end product from that brand an entry point into their ecosystem. So as I mentioned in the beginning, you can check out Brent's full review and measurements in the description below. This is Mike on Audio, always telling you to trust your ears. Take care, and I'll see you next time.